Many grifters have found a career and even some amount of political success by presenting themselves as defenders of freedom of speech.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal.
Ben Shapiro has emerged as one of the top defenders of free speech.
Legalize comedy.
If we can't agree that there is a difference between speech and violence, we're not going to be able to have a free state, let alone a free country.
Yeah.
Free speech is under assault.
The problem is that they don't actually believe in it. In fact, their view on freedom of speech is virtually indistinguishable from that of Stalin or Goebbels. In other words, they believe that people should have the right to say whatever they want as long as they agree with it. That's why I call them grifters. If you believe in freedom of speech only for people who already agree with you, you don't believe in freedom of speech.
To whom do you award the right to decide which speech is harmful, or who is the harmful speaker? Do you know anyone? Hands up. Do you know anyone to whom you give this job? Does anyone have a nominee?
The best example of this grift comes from the US administration, where President Musk, Trump, and J.D. Vance have lectured the world on the merits of freedom of speech and the terrible nature of censorship, while at the same time openly and proudly violate this right. I have the receipts. This is Mahmoud Khalil, a graduate of Columbia University. He is married to an American citizen, and in just a few weeks he will be the father of an American child. He's a green card holder, which means that he has permanent residency in the United States. He can live there for as long as he wants.
I was born and raised in a Palestinian refugee camp in southern Damascus in Syria. My family's history in Palestine actually goes back to as long as my grandparent could trace it.
Now, Mahmoud is a Palestinian activist. He has acted as a liaison between protesters at Columbia University and the staff of Columbia University. He has not been accused of committing any crimes or of hurting anybody. But still, Mahmoud is now in jail, more precisely in an ICE detention facility.
He's not resisting.
Put your arm down. There's no need for this. Don't worry about it. You're going to have to come with us. Don't worry. I'm coming with you. Don't worry. No one's resisting. No one's getting worked up.
You guys really don't need to be doing all of that.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
حبيبي كيف بدي اتصل فيك؟
Take Amy. Call Amy.
Okay. Can we get a name, please? Can we get your name? I understand the lawyer is asking for your name.
Over there. No, we don't give our name.
The lawyer's asking for your name. He's saying they don't give their names. Can you please specify what agency is taking him, please? Excuse me. They're not talking to me. I don't know. Excuse me. The lawyer would like to speak to somebody. Oh my God, they're literally running away from me.
The reason why Mahmoud was dragged from his house, separated from his family by armed thugs, is that he has expressed views that the government opposes. Namely, he has expressed his opposition to the genocide of the Palestinian people committed by the Israeli government. That's because, following an insane executive order from the Musk White House, the US has been cracking down on pro-Palestinian speech, especially targeting foreign students that participate in campus protests. Now, of course, the United States is not alone in this repression of pro-Palestinian speech, and in fact, you should really check what the UK and Germany have done against pro-Palestinian protesters. But what's special about the United States is that, unlike those European countries, the United States does have a very powerful protection for free speech established in the First Amendment to the Constitution. And by putting Mahmoud in jail, what the United States government is doing is saying that they're willing to destroy this right. But let's steelman the case against Mahmoud. Let's say that he didn't just oppose the genocide against the Palestinians, and instead, let's say that he praised Hamas, he praised October 7th, he praised anti-Semitism, and that he said that the Israelis should be pushed into the sea. Those things are completely legal to say. This isn't a controversial take at all. Case law from the US Supreme Court unquestionably shows that it's legal speech. Hate speech, whether we like it or not, is free speech. So what the United States is doing is saying that if you're a foreigner in the United States, it doesn't matter if you're a foreign student, a tourist, or a permanent resident with a green card, that you have less constitutional protections against the state than if you were a citizen.
You come to the United States as a visitor. We can deny you that visa. And if you end up having a green card, not citizenship, but a green card, we're going to kick you out. It's as simple as that. This is not about free speech. This is about people that don't have a right to be in the United States to begin with.
This case is not about freedom of speech. It's about civilized behavior. It's about national security. It's about terrorism.
Coming to this country either on a visa or becoming a resident alien is a great privilege. We consider them a national security threat. And I hear freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Can you stay in a movie theater and yell fire?
I mean, just think about it. Let's say that you are a tourist in the United States. Do you think that the government can simply put you in a camp and say, well, these people are not Americans, therefore we can do whatever we want to them?
Get him! Code 6! Code 6! Go! Take him down! Go! Right now! Right now! Use the taser! Use the taser! Ah! Ah! Hit him again! Ah!
Put up a hell of a fight, but we got him!
Now, I don't think that the courts are going to end up allowing the deportation of Mahmoud. At least I want to believe that they won't, because it is such a ridiculous case and such a clear violation of the First Amendment to the Constitution that I want to think that they are not going to kick him out. However, that should not be a consolation. The state is sending a very clear message about what is going to happen to people who go against the views that the state accepts. They know that they cannot deport every single foreigner who supports Palestine or everybody who supports Palestine. They just need to scare enough people. I mean, you need to understand that that's what they're trying to do. They want you, yes, specifically you, to double check before you voice a position that the government rejects.
And one of the deans of Columbia, who is a First Amendment advocate, put out a statement to students saying basically, look, if you're not a citizen, then you have to consider that your speech can get you deported now, and we can't stop it. You know, I've seen people saying that's complying in advance. You should say that. Well, that's fine for someone with resources and power who's a citizen. But if you are a student from some foreign country and you do not have citizenship status, you do not have a lot of resources, you do not have powerful friends, it might be good advice. And expecting that student to be the one to stand up, I think, is kind of judging the wrong person here. It's judging the weakest people for not standing up to possible deportation.
And of course, if you don't like the Palestinian supporters, it's easy to say, well, it doesn't matter if it happens to them. But what other views could the government suddenly say are not acceptable for foreigners to have?
If you're an honest person, you have to defend him if you believe in free speech, because that's what free speech means. I say it all the time when it's on the other foot, and I can't change because it's now this guy. It's defending the dirtbags you hate.
What if tomorrow they say that strikes are a Marxist act against American capitalism, so that any foreigner that goes on strike needs to be kicked out? Now, let me be clear. I believe that Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinians, and the United States has supported and is an accomplice in this war crime. Both the Trump administration as well as the Biden administration, and all the way back, it's a bunch of war criminals that have supported the annihilation, the genocide, and the apartheid against the Palestinians. I don't think that this is controversial. There isn't a single mainstream human rights organization that would disagree with any of the statements that I just made. But let's say that you do. You should still oppose the deportation of Mahmoud. Because are you sure that you are that orthodox? Are you sure that you agree with the government on everything? And let's be honest, if they're willing to take the rights of legal foreigners simply because of their views, what makes you so sure that they wouldn't come against you? What makes you think that if the government is willing to deprive other people of the rights that they have, that they're not going to come to take yours? Are there any views that you have that the government might not like? Do you know who's going to be president next? I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but Trump will die. He will die one day. And when that happens, somebody else will take his place. Are you sure that you're going to be on the same page as him? Because once the government gets these rights, do you think they're going to give them back? This is one of the most famous photos from the Third Reich. An entire audience of Germans hailing Hitler.
My heart goes out to you.
Except for one man who stands there with his arms crossed. People like to see themselves in that defying man. They want to believe that when push comes to shove, they will be there dissenting, opposing the majority. But the majority of us will probably do what the majority is doing. What's funny there is that the majority often is not intellectually or ideologically committed. They're just doing everything that they see other people are doing. So it ends up confirming itself. That is why you need to voice your opposition. That is why you need to be a dissenter and a rebel. That is why you need to say, this is wrong, even if it doesn't affect me, even if it doesn't affect my friends. This is wrong. This is a blank check given to the government to repress people who disagree with the government, and this needs to stop. You will only get as much tyranny as you're willing to accept. And let me be clear, this is tyranny. Free speech, free Palestine, non-Serbian.
Everything's computer.